it's Kelly Timecat. My next film review is Backcountry, 2014. The protagonists are Alex, Jeff Rube, and Jen, Missy Peregrine. Alex certainly thinks and perhaps is an experienced outdoor type, quite used to spending time hiking, but he's taken his partner on her first trip out into the wilderness for a hike in a very remote area. And she is, see right at the start, when they're in a multi-storey car park, she's looking at her cell phone, and he's not impressed. He wants to get off the grid, totally out into the wild. She's perhaps a bit more reluctant. But anyway, she goes along. She does want to go on the trip, but maybe not as out in the remote wilds as he does. So when they set off, they first have an encounter with this apparent tour guide. We think, blimey, he seems friendly to start with until Jen has invited him to have dinner with them. He's got a load of fish. Alex is a bit more reluctant. So a little bit of tension develops. I remember when I used to go jogging when I was young, and one of my friends said, the thing, remote areas, there's bulls, cows, wild animals, sometimes feel a bit scary. But my friend said the big worry is human beings, they can be the most threatening. That's why I thought, oh gosh, they're going to get attacked. But this other threat, you can see from the trailer, there's a bear sniffing their tent. Alex spots a footprint that looks a bit like a bear. It's bigger than the size of his shoe. Oh gosh, when a bear is sniffing around their tent while they're sleeping, wow, the tension builds up. I came into the film knowing there was a threat in it, but I didn't know what it was. And then about halfway through, I did pause and have a look at something related to the film. I saw what happens, but I think it's actually even more exciting when you don't know, when you just go into the film without any knowledge about it. I think that in general with films, so it actually makes it more difficult to talk about them. But I really enjoyed it. Oh gosh, there's some gory scenes. Not that fond of visceral stuff, but it's, in a way, I found it easier because it wasn't exactly gratuitous. It was an attack, and it's actually apparently based on a true story, although at the end there's the usual disclaimer about it not representing any person dead or alive. So it becomes a survival film. I love those. If you can actually defeat or attempt to defeat, if you're able to in any way get out of a situation, I presume that someone survived simply because if it was based on a true story, there's someone telling the story. Might not actually be the case, because sometimes you get forensics, people discovering situations and think, oh gosh, here's 2 dead people. The filmmakers surmise what did happen. Don't take anything for granted, but there's a fight for survival in the film. It's in such a remote place. No cell phone transmitters, no way of calling for help, maybe flares. Just, wow. I've been stuck in a forest in Wales. I got slightly lost in a forest in Wales, much smaller. I can imagine there's areas of Canada, probably the size of Great Britain, that are wilderness. It's on a totally different scale. But even when I was stuck in that forest, when I was out on a long, long hike, and I thought, gosh, I can't find my way out of this. I'm stuck. There's felled trees, there's just so many hazards. You could fall, you could get impaled, you could just disappear. I did have a cell phone, I was thinking of calling for help. I thought if I did that, it would mean mountain rescue, putting other people at risk. Anyway, I did find my way out of the mess I created. Actually, it was shown on the map as a proper footpath, just petered into nothing. So it wasn't entirely my fault, but it's really important to be prepared whenever you're out walking. Be prepared for any eventuality. And in this case, I'm not sure they were. It was a really gripping story, exciting. I recommend you see it. If you can take a little bit of gory mess, I think I'll score it 8 out of 10. One of my final films for the 4th quarter of 2022. Really worthwhile watch. If you've seen it, let me know what you think, and thanks for watching. Bye for now.